opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. So I've already said what I heard at the goal setting and where I was at the goal setting, and the only reason it came to the work plan was because it was a goal decided at the goal setting. And at that point, I had requested that we consider both the developments. When I say both, I mean the other one, which is very similar, which also has a request. It's a housing element site, also is retail, and they're also looking for movie theater and other community elements. But at that point, I was told that it is better to do just the VallCo specific. My concern here is HCD is looking at cities who are not progressing with their housing element. North 40, specifically in Los Gatos, they have a lawsuit. And further, HCD has put them on notice because they're concerned with the delays in housing approvals. Separately, action is being taken by state legislature to speed up housing development. Last year, the governor wanted to push a by rights bill, which we on the council put a halt to. But very narrowly, we put a halt to it. We said we cannot allow this. But it's coming back to us in different formats. There is another bill that will come to us sometime later, and individual legislative concepts such as the Wiener Bill that will create a streamlined approval process for housing when cities are not meeting the housing goals required by RENA. Basically, at that point, developers can come with shovel-ready projects, and we'll have no say in the matter. These are many, many proposed housing bills that indicate that if we show no progress on our housing element, we will be penalized. And in particular scrutiny is VallCo, because there was a developer who was ready to go ahead with housing. I know you agree with me that we should not allow the loss of local control. And we are heading towards that if we postpone this decision any further. I understand the issues with traffic. It's not that I don't live in the city and I don't face traffic. Yes, Apple will be opening later this year. We will have traffic. Assuming that we'll have the worst traffic, we can start the process. By the time we get a committee formed, we have a facilitator, and I really liked one of the comments where a lot of people are not online, so we should go to the neighborhoods to find the people who are interested to being part of the committee. I think that's really important. I had not thought of that before. So I will approach the block leaders. I'm willing to do the walking to search for these committee members who have an opinion but do not come to our city council meeting, do not watch us online, but have an opinion and are not able to use technology to get to us. So yes, let's find those people. Let's have those conversations and find those people and build a committee. And the committee is not going to say that we want a Jurassic Park there. The committee is going to come together and say something that's feasible. We want something that's feasible. It's not going to be the 2 million square foot of office space because the committee is not going to agree to that. The committee needs to agree to something, and then we go forward and see whether we need an urban planner and all the other things that come with it. All we are asking now is to go forward, build a committee of people in the city who can talk to each other openly and then air what they want. No, somebody may come back and say, no, maybe I just want a country zoo. I don't know. I don't know what it is that people want. So let's hear that. Let's not go back to the 2 million square foot of office space and we said no to that. Yes, we voted no on Measure D to the 2 million square foot of office space. Everybody knows that. So I'm assuming nobody's going to come back saying, I want 2 million square foot of office space. That's silly. They're not going to come back with that. But let's not go to extremes. Let's have a proposal which has some housing, has some retail, has entertainment, and see if that's a feasible proposal. And the only way we can get to that is we have an independent committee that does that without city council influence. And if we have a facilitator, again, no facilitator has been decided. Let me repeat that. We select the facilitator from a slate of names that is provided to us, and then go ahead and search for these committee members and do a real search. Geographically, demographic, different parts of the city, different ethnicities, students, young people, and see what they want. Let's have that conversation. Having a general plan conversation will not be fast enough. We need to have a housing element specific plan, affordable housing, and get to that as fast as we can. And keeping in mind, yes, Apple will bring traffic. That's what I'm going to say.
So I just want to point out that when the housing element plan was done, there were two versions, and one of them followed the Planning Commission's recommendation, which had no housing at VallCo, and that is still available. We're not going to be sued as long as we move forward with one of the two housing element plans. So personally, I would like to see affordable housing at VallCo, for sale affordable housing, so our schools are not destroyed. But I don't think it's really correct to say if we don't move forward to put housing at VallCo, we're going to be sued for not fulfilling the housing element.
I'll allow the city manager to respond to the Plan B.
Councilmember Scharf's actually correct. We have to execute the Plan B, but there is a Plan B that we got pre-certified.
So if you could expand further on that, if we don't move ahead, when do
Well, if we don't do anything and we don't execute Plan B, then we could get sued because we wouldn't have zoning on VallCo that would permit the housing. But so if you go back 2 years ago, what we told council was that we have 3 years to conform the zoning or specific plan. That's essentially equivalent. If we don't do that, we then have to reallocate the housing units to the Plan B sites. And that means a housing element amendment. It's not necessarily a huge deal, but it's a legislative act that we have to take.
Yes, exactly, which is what I wanted to bring up here today. Can I have a timeline for when we need to address that?
We had 3 years from the date of approval, so I'm trying to do the...
So which means by February of 2018, we'll need to have a Plan B.
We need to have it executed.
So I'm so glad you brought that up. Which means if we don't have a committee between now and 2018 February is too late to start this process. Then we have to go to Plan B.
Yeah, that may be true, but by February 2018, we will not know the full impact of the Apple traffic if they're just starting to populate the campus.
You're making
now.
my point for me, so thank you.
Well, you're welcome, I guess.
Vice Mayor Paul, if you want to say anything more.
I really don't. I mean, I brought up my points, and they're put forward in good faith. I mean, we can. I think the point of